1, broadcasting live. What's going on, guys? Let me get a video. Let me get a video check and let me get an audio check. Let me know how the sound is. Hopefully, I'm clear. You guys can hear me well. We also have Dave from Dave B's Tech joining us tonight. Dave, go ahead and say hello.
Good evening, everybody. And,
Good to have you on. Glad you could be here.
Yeah,
I think what
absolutely.
we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do the whole roll call. We'll get everybody a shout out here that says hello in the live chat. So if you guys want a quick little shout out, go ahead and say hello in there. Dave, what do you want to talk about tonight, man?
Well, I know that this new Sprint merger news is really interesting, so that's something that I'm interested in.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to it. That's a big piece of what we're going to do tonight. We'll talk a little 5G, but most of it's going to be about the merger. I think there's just it's enormously extensive what we could do with Boost in this. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of potential bidders. A lot of potential, man. A lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the live chat. Quick shout outs to Nintendo 504. Glad you could be here. Frankie Hernandez is here. He said, "Who let the dogs out?" It was definitely Dave B from Dave B's Tech. He let the dogs out.
I did.
We got a super chat from somebody, and I got to get to it eventually. Give me 1 second. Frankie says, if the hostile takeover of a merger goes through, then I want Amazon to be the fourth carrier, which will bring strong competition. I could see Amazon within a few years being the third place carrier. I agree with part of that. I disagree with part of that. So I'll get to it. But thanks for the comment, Frankie. We'll get there.
That would be interesting.
It would be. And I want to take a look at that comment later. I'm going to come back to it. Ross is in the house. He says, when is T-Mobile merging with Sprint? I don't know.
Whenever the DOJ stops being crazy.
I know. We're still at the mercy of the DOJ and their decision. SC, isn't that T-Mobile's whole purpose for the merger? They need the spectrum. They do, but I think there still might be some to divest. There's a lot out there. I was just looking at the Sprint Spectrum holdings. It's crazy. They have so much, then they have very valuable spectrum.
If they have to divest spectrum, where do you think they should do it? Do you think they should do 2.5, or do you think they should actually divest lower?
They're going to want to do their best to try to just get rid of some of that 700, some of that excess.
That's what I was thinking.
And of course, any company that's starting from scratch, don't they want low band?
That's true, because of the bigger coverage area.
Yeah, you're going to want to get some range to your network. Even if it's not going to be too fast, at least you get it blanketing the nation, and then you could work on, improving capacity and speeds. Dreams Kings is in the house. Why would T-Mobile and Sprint agree with the DOJ to help build a fourth competitor from their assets? If the DOJ requires it, then they're going to say no deal without it. So they've kind of put their backs up against the wall. The Blind Family says Amazon. So it looks like they're big on Amazon. We'll get to that. Who else is here? Dark Vader's in the house. Glad you could be here, my friend. Jay Brown is here. Kate Deuce is here. Mark is in the house. M. Kelleher is here. Frankie says, where's Waldo? He's definitely talking about Pete. Pete will be joining us shortly. Michael Fresca, glad you could be here, my friend. Guys, big shout out to Michael Fresca. Check him out on YouTube. He's got a great channel, makes some excellent content. Go ahead and check him out. Subscribe. He's got some excellent videos. He's got a good twist to his style. I like what he's doing there. I definitely have been watching his videos. I'm very impressed by what he's been doing. So big shout out to Michael Fresca. Check out the channel. Jarrett's in the house. Brandon is here. Obed is here. M. Kelleher is here. He says, we love Sneed. Man, Sneed loves the people too. Raphael, happy Friday to you as well, my friend. Glad you could be here. Steve is here. Paul is here. Thank you for wishing me a good show. Kerwin is here. Says hello to everybody. Kevin Taylor is here, starting things off with a super chat. Thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. Big time, man. Starting to get some super chats, Dave. Things are looking good at Sneed Mobile Tech.
Nice. Congrats, man. Deserve them.
Justin is here. Joe is here. Mark is here. Jamal is in the house. Glad you could stop by. Planet Earth is in the house. Big shout out to Planet Earth. He's got a YouTube channel too. He's got some pretty much like, it's a very random kind of approach to his channel. Like he does everything on there, but it's very honest and it's very transparent. Good dude. Check him out. The Planet Earth.
I like the channel name. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool. He's got some good stuff on there. Let's see here. Justin is here. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Javier is here. John M is here. Brad B is here. Wow, still going here. Oh, and while we're doing all the shout outs and giving everybody their hellos, go ahead and like the video, guys. If you could, give it a thumbs up. Help it get into the YouTube algorithm. M. Kelleher says, hey, I'm watching on my Pixel 3 XL. Hey, I am broadcasting with help from my Google Pixel 3a XL. Zen
like
Pyro is here. Yeah. From Winter Haven, Florida. Just found me today. New subscriber. Glad you could be here. Thank you for subscribing. Nintendo 504. Keep us updated on the count. We're at 63 watching currently. Fantastic. What else? Pete's in the chat right now, guys. He is moderating as usual, taking care of business. Planet Earth says, I never asked you, Sneed, what provider do you have? I'm currently with Verizon for my wireless, and I have Cox for my home ISP.
We're gonna get you onto that.
Who's your provider, and what do you got?
My provider is called Ting, T-I-N-G, which runs off of the T-Mobile network. It's an MVNO.
Do you have home provisions?
I'm currently living in one of those college student apartments that do that. When I move, I think it'll be AT&T for a while until I can see if there's any better options in the area.
Oh, I know you are not happy about that, Dave.
No.
Let's see here. Steve says, I bet Google bids. They already have a partnership with both Sprint and T-Mobile. What do you guys think? Well, Steve, I will say that they have a lot of fiber rolled out across the U.S. Be nice to see if they could figure something out there. And, of course, the never-ending revenue stream.
Google Fi owning Boost. The only
I don't
thing
know if that would work, man. I don't know if the DOJ is into that.
The only thing I would worry about that would be that Google tends to do this thing sometimes where they'll make a product and they realize in 2 or 3 years it doesn't work and they kill it. So that's the only thing I'd be worried about there.
Yeah, I agree. One second. I gotta just mute my mic. Hold on 1 second. Babe? Yeah. Could you shut whatever door you can? Yeah. Thanks. All right, back with you guys. All right. Sorry for the interruption. We've got Frankie says, oh, wait, did I miss something? No, we got to the Google one, right?
Yeah.
Frankie says, Sprint has the most spectrum of all the other 3 carriers combined. Extremely valuable asset. It's true, and that's why T-Mobile wants to merge with them. T-Mobile could merge with a cable provider if they wanted to, but it wouldn't really help them except operational revenue. That's really it.
Yeah, Sprint has a lot of spectrum if they could use it properly.
You know what I'm going to do, Dave? I'm going to do a video this week. I'm going to take a look at the spectrum allocations across the country, the top 5 spectrum holdings in the U.S. This should be a good video. Planet Earth says AT&T fiber for me, Verizon postpaid, and AT&T postpaid. Planet Earth, you just had T-Mobile. What happened, bro?
Man, if he had T-Mobile and went to Verizon, unless T-Mobile is really bad in the area, I don't know what I feel about you, Planet Earth.
Yeah, it looks like, well, he also travels. I know that for a fact because he vlogs and stuff like that.
Okay, that might explain part of it then.
Yeah, so maybe he's looking for that coverage. No problem, Frankie. I know what you meant. Joe says, I have 5 lines on T-Mobile. I'm going to port my line to Spectrum Mobile just to try out for a couple of years. Maybe go back in like 6 years once that 5G build out is complete. Wow, Joe's really mapping out what he's doing in the next half a decade. Thinking ahead.
Yeah, seriously though.
Yeah, wow. Planet Earth says I hate Sprint with a passion. Yeah, I mean, they make a lot of bad decisions in the past, and their service is limited at times depending on the market. Uh-oh. Somebody's in
What?
the house. Is that Pete?
Yeah, with a picture.
All right, guys, looks like Pete is joining us now. Mark says Google could grow their Project Fi. Well, they're already operating on the T-Mobile and Sprint networks along with US Cellular. I think it would just be to maybe bolster what they have or kind of create a competent standalone network as an MVNO, like a true MVNO. I don't know. It's an option, I guess.
Well, I don't know. MVNO would imply that they don't have their own standalone network. Because if they do, it's an MNO, and then it becomes an MNO.
Well, what I'm saying is if they are going to be receiving spectrum in the deal, they can create partially their own network and then rely on roaming agreements for the coverage the rest of the way.
That is true.
You know, I'm thinking like something like that could work if you could figure out the deals.
That could be something like what US Cellular does, where they cover like Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then everywhere else in the country. It's
John M is wondering what MVNO means. I think it means mobile virtual network something.
Operator.
Yep, mobile virtual network operator.
So essentially what an MVNO is they are carriers that operate, on other wireless providers' networks. So we know we've got 4 national carriers, or if you ask Pete, we have 3.5 national carriers.
If you're lucky.
So what they do is these MVNOs will be leasing airwaves, over the network of, say, Verizon. It's a Verizon MVNO, so they piggyback on their network, or it's piggybacks off of T-Mobile, like in the case of Ting, like what Dave is using. So they use the same network, but maybe they're slightly throttled, or they get network managed at certain times to alleviate congestion on the network. There might be certain restrictions and speed caps, or whatever. That's kind of how it works. So, but the service is often pretty good. They just don't get all the bells and whistles and features that the Big Four offer. All right, let's see who else is in the house here. We've got Cameron is here. Says, did a speed test on AT&T in my area. I'm pulling 117 megs. That's pretty good. I didn't even know AT&T could do that.
Maybe you got lucky with no congestion.
That's
I was going to say they've got a lot of customers,
I get 100 in over here by the U of M. I get 100 on T-Mobile on an MVNO.
Captain MC7 is in the house. Glad you could be here.
I see a comment from Dream Z Kings. I've been commenting on the Sneed Mobile Discord. If Amazon got boosted, call it Fire Mobile or something like that. And making Note 7 jokes.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole Amazon Fire thing. Yep. In case you guys didn't know, Pete's got a part-time gig. He's a stand-up comedian. He's been working on Discord for a couple of days. We've got Tanya France in the house. She says, do you think my 10S Max will have better reception? I have Metro PCS. It's not too bad now, but could be better. The problem with the iPhones is they use Intel modems, Intel chips, and the radios are not great. They're okay, but they're not up to par compared to, say, like a Snapdragon processor by Qualcomm.
Apparently, they've worked out the differences, though.
I don't know. Like, the connectivity is less reliable in terms of range, like with Wi-Fi and LTE, and then speeds. Like, I could tell you right now, I could stand in the same location with my 2-year-old Android, Google Pixel 2 XL. I'll get almost double the speed of my wife with her 10S Max. Same Verizon network, standing in the same spot. She's probably operating at like 60% of the speeds that I am. So
and that's Apple for you.
Noticeable.
I think the newest roaming agreement based on Jib Sprint got was when they announced the merger last year.
And I'm trying to catch up in this chat. Are we caught up yet?
Yeah.
All right.
Apple Snapdragon not working out an agreement. Steve Sanchez saying Sprint 5G launched yesterday. Their 5G is good if you're in the area for it.
I saw an article about that, but I didn't get a chance to read it. I'd be interested to hear what that Sprint 5G is all about.
I did a video on it, just kind of covering the release, and I'm going to do a more in-depth look at it sometime this week. I'll probably build the script and film the video or something this week. My last day of school is going to be Wednesday, so no later than Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have something out there. They've got speed tests out. They've got performance out. Sprint 5G actually looks really good, and I think maybe we'll talk to that. I think by the end of the show today, we'll kind of mention and get to it. Planet Earth says, I really want to talk to you on your show. Planet Earth, I'd love to have you on. Maybe we could figure out a time that works and you can kind of be on as a guest. I know you've had a lot of network experience. You've been a wireless customer for many years on all the different networks. Maybe we'll figure something out here. Raphael says, hit the like button. Yeah, make sure you guys do that here. Let's get to 100 likes. How many we got right now, guys? How many likes?
Oh, no, I left the video to avoid double talk.
Let's see here. I'm going to just take a look, see what we got for likes.
I've been saying that for a while, Mark.
Ooh, we've got only 28 likes. That's not going to cut it, guys. We're shooting for 100. I know, big dreams. Hit that like button. All right, let's see what else we have here. We got to get to the nitty-gritty of the show eventually.
Yeah, we're on T-Mobile Sprint merger. Boosting the fourth nationwide carrier. So let's get on that.
I'm going to be drinking a little water. I'm trying to rehydrate. I've been fasting all day.
Get fired up.
I'm not fired up for Amazon phones.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty of the podcast. Today is Friday. I believe it's May 31st. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct.
All right, so last day of May. We've got June upon us. And June is going to be a big month because we are expecting a final decision from the DOJ on the merger. So T-Mobile and Sprint are still trying to get married, and they have people in their way. It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet of sorts.
Which one's the DOJ?
Yeah, exactly. The DOJ wants certain concessions. The FCC has already signed off on it. DOJ is kind of making things a little difficult. They are saying that they're operating in the best interest of the American people, right? So it is the antitrust. It is this idea of competition remaining. So the basic premise of this holdup is the DOJ wants to ensure that there is still a fourth carrier in the U.S. Pete, you brought up a good point. You said Canada has gone from 4 to 3 wireless providers, and it's hurt the consumer in the long term.
Yeah, but if you looked at the markets they're in, it was so much easier for them to form a cartel than it is for the U.S. to.
Well, in the case of the DOJ, if obviously their thing is competition, I understand why they want 4 carriers. Now, how they want to do this is they want to take groundwork or the framework for the new 4th carrier. Looks like they want to take from Sprint and T-Mobile to kind of springboard this new network, which means it looks like they're trying to create a carrier using Boost and some spectrum allocations to kind of serve as the starting point for that new fourth carrier. And essentially, that's going to be the replacement for Sprint. I'm kind of curious though. Would they be in such a big rush to create a fourth carrier if Sprint just went out of business?
No.
I don't think so. I think the only reason that they're doing this is because of the fact that T-Mobile and Sprint may end up merging, and so they're like, "Oh my God, we've got to do something."
Yeah, I thought about that earlier today. I'm like, if Sprint just went bankrupt and all of a sudden this spectrum just became available, it would go straight to bidding. And, every carrier would try to get their greasy little paws on it.
Hey, Captain Mech 7, future spectrum is coming from former network UHF frequencies and some radio frequencies in AM.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is being refarmed and reallocated for use on cellular networks.
Simply because the bandwidth they're taking up used to be analog and the signals went digital, which takes a lot less spectrum.
I have a little game that I want to play with you guys. You guys ready?
All right, let's do it.
Word association. Name a company that could potentially be the new fourth carrier. Dave, we'll start with you.
Xfinity.
So for all you out there, Xfinity is Comcast. All right, Pete, you go.
Trump.
What?
Trump
What?
Mobile.
Trump Mobile. It would really trump the competition.
Oh, man. Low-hanging fruit. Pete, can we try this again?
Yeah, Costco. No, that was another joke. I was saying Walmart or Dish.
Okay, all right, so Dish, fine, I'll take that. Okay, I'm going to throw one out there. You said Charter, right? Pete?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go with Charter, Spectrum. Cable provider, big time. I think they have a legitimate chance at maybe looking into this. All right, Dave, another one.
All right. Oh, you mean another company that could be?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, give me another one.
Google, maybe?
Well, they've got the fiber throughout the country, right?
They do. They have
No, they don't.
fiber. Well, they don't now, but
Don't they have the?
some.
Yeah,
They
don't
have
they have
some.
some laid out across the U.S.?
No,
They have
they've
some.
been rolling back on them. So
Maybe they could sell that framework to some other providers and then get in on wireless. How about Cox?
how about Cable Cartel?
Well, that's kind of where we're going with this, right? Optimum, Altice, Mediacom,
SpaceX.
SpaceX. It looks like they got their own little niche going out there.
Because they're looking to do satellite internet. Why couldn't they get into that? I mean, providing satellite phone service or just regular phone service.
What do you guys think of Amazon?
Well, they've got enough money to throw at the problem, that's for certain.
They can do whatever they want. I'm about to talk some numbers actually in a second. From the comment section, I kept hearing Comcast, Xfinity. I kept hearing U.S. Cellular. And I actually don't like the prospects of U.S. Cellular, and I'll get to that. I'll explain why. Let's talk the cable companies. Pete, you called it the cable cartel.
Yep.
Here are some numbers. These are the numbers of customers that each company serves. Number one is Comcast Xfinity, 111 million customers served. Number two is Charter Spectrum, 102 million customers served.
And that's a lot of leasing bandwidth from Verizon.
Really?
So they roam on Verizon when you're not near a hotspot.
Oh, you're talking about wireless.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just talking the home ISP situation. But yeah, they are operating on their network. They've got some pretty vicious restrictions, though. They're running on 480p. They're throttling you after 20 gigs of data. I think they slow you down to like sub 5 megabits per second once you go over that.
Yep, they want you to stay on their hotspot network.
Well, with SpaceX creating viable home internet alternative, I think that some of those numbers will go down because the cable companies haven't been necessarily endearing themselves to customers over the past decade.
All right, number 3 is Cox at 21 million customers. Number 4 is Optimum Altice at 12 million, and then MediaCom comes in at a meager 7.5 million.
Isn't TracFone already nationwide?
TracFone is nationwide as a prepaid carrier, as an MVNO. They are huge, though. They have they've got at least 30 million subs, I think.
They're
Yep.
probably one of the biggest MVNOs there is.
The thing is, though, if with the Sprint and T-Mobile merger, if T-Mobile was to get all of that prepaid, they would have more
Yep.
by like 5 million customers. Like that's how big of a chunk Boost offers. Last I checked, Boost had like 8 million customers estimated. All right, so those are the populations served, kind of in order. Money, and I think this is a big deal. Total revenue for Comcast, $52.5 billion annually. Charter Spectrum, $44 billion annually. Cox, $10 billion annually. Optimum Altice at $5 billion, and then MediaCom, $1.5 billion. Comcast Xfinity is operating with $53 billion. That's very sizable.
It's all
And I
those
think-
contracts.
Right, and the Charter Spectrum is at $44 billion. So they're the two big players.
That's an obscene amount of money.
And that's total revenue. So I guess a more accurate way to consider like how they spend is the operating revenue or the operating income. Comcast comes in at 21 billion. Charter comes in at 15 billion. None of the others get over 5 billion. So I think out of all the top cable home ISPs that stand a legitimate chance to get in on Boost and creating this fourth wireless network nationally, I think it could only be Comcast and Charter. Those are the only two legit players. Nobody else has the money to roll out a network.
Another thing is, does the DOJ want an actual carrier, or do they want a prepaid carrier? Because a lot of Boost customers are prepaid, like all of Boost customers are prepaid, basically. So, and they're price sensitive. If Comcast comes in and buys up Boost, for example, they're going to start raising prices like they do with their cable, and everybody's going to leave. And so then you've got a carrier with no customers. So that doesn't help anybody either.
Well, if they're going to be keeping the Boost branding and they're going to be keeping Boost customers, they have to stay prepaid. And a wireless network that is national sounds more like postpaid to me. I don't know. Are they just trying to make a very large MVNO out of this? I don't know. I'd really like to know exactly what the DOJ expects. Like, I would love to hear an analogy for them. Like, what do you want to make? Oh, we want to make something like TracFone. Or we want to make something like US Cellular, but on a national scale. You know, like, that's what I want to know.
Because a nationwide carrier does sound like a postpaid thing. Simply because...
Well, they said fourth carrier. That means like the other three. Like I said, I'd really want to know the specifics. Like, what is the expectation? And of course, these companies are going to want to know. They're going to be investing huge money into this. Buying Boost by itself is $4 billion.
There were several companies interviewed regarding this, and they were interested in nationwide rollouts for a phone service due to the price and the build-out requirements.
LoveTech47 says yes, fourth carrier would be postpaid. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, we're getting mixed signals. If you think about it, the DOJ says they still want Boost to be standalone and operational, well, that means that they want them to retain prepaid. And if they want a fourth national carrier, they're implying postpaid. I'm just a little confused as to what they're trying to do.
Maybe they're trying to create 5 carriers.
I have no idea. I wouldn't consider a prepaid carrier
As a carrier.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. I just don't. Let's see here. Who else? Steve Sanchez says Google, Apple, Amazon, I think will go after the spectrum and the subs. Comcast said not interested. Well, if Comcast isn't interested, that leaves Charter Spectrum to kind of be the last one of the big players.
Charter Spectrum also said not interested.
Ooh. So if you guys think about it, the 2 biggest cable providers in the nation are not in on this. That leaves a bunch of smaller ones, or in terms of the big player, it's Amazon. I just did a video on Amazon today.
I don't know.
I don't know if you got it, Pete, if you were able to watch it, Dave, if you were able to watch it.
I did. I think I made several jokes in that.
I could maybe see Apple getting into it. I don't like it's not a business they've ever been in before, but I heard they were talking about making an MVNO at one point, so they might consider it.
Aren't they trying to do something in gaming?
Yep. The expensive arcade.
I know Google's trying that stuff too. It's not really working out. Amazon wants in. Actually, let's talk about Amazon. All right. Money. 233 total revenue, 233 billion. That's more money than Comcast and Charter combined. They have 12 billion in operational income.
From
Amazon's got a lot of money, man. This would be easy for them to do.
most of Amazon's money comes from their AWS assets.
Sorry, go ahead.
Which is a little interesting and maybe odd for starting a carrier. Like, they may try to incorporate their AI-driven model and AWS platform if they roll down into a carrier.
In terms of what Amazon would do, I could see Amazon creating a network that would be specifically for targeting services, like the stuff that they offer, the gaming platform that they want to launch, shipping, right? The organizational, technical side of shipping, for their trucking and their distribution and their centers. I could see all that working on the network.
Yep.
So like an Amazon-owned employee service network.
I mean, I could see them doing all that stuff. I could see them running their Amazon Prime Video over this network.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. We don't know if Boost is going to stay prepaid at this point. We thought it was initially. That could be changing. Could be going postpaid. We have no idea. Sounds like they want to do a postpaid carrier. We don't really know for sure. If you're going to be establishing a new fourth carrier, a new network, number one, the DOJ has said that it wants it to be national. In your opinion, Pete, how fast or how long is it going to take a new national network to build out?
Ooh, ask me a hard question. It depends on the spectrum they get initially and the markets the spectrum's available in. I could see maybe 1.5 if they're generous, and 3 if it's trying to pull together pieces.
Dave?
National? I think it would be longer than that. The United States is a pretty large place. I'd say 5-6 years, and that's if they're throwing a lot of money at the problem. I mean, to cover every major metro and not to mention backwater road in this country, or at least decently well, that takes a lot of time. I mean, look at
No carrier does that all roads in this country.
Well, I know, but look at how long it took. Look at how long it took T-Mobile to do it, and they were doing well, right? In 2013, they weren't doing so hot. 2012, 2013. It's 2019, and they're just now to the point, really, where you could call T-Mobile a viable competitor.
I think what Pete is also considering is the possibility of getting those roaming agreements in place and being locked in possibly to a deal with T-Mobile. And if the roaming agreement is there, that gives them the added footprint. So maybe 3 or 4 years is realistic if they're going to be working closely with T-Mobile on their new network. Especially if they do get a lot of that spectrum, low range spectrum. We're talking low band, so like 600-700 megahertz. I mean, you could span the country pretty fast. 3 years, I think, you can get a pretty decent network if you have the right roaming agreements.
And from what I've been reading, part of the requirement for the rollout for a fourth carrier would require roaming agreements with the other three.
Ooh, so you can get coverage through AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile.
Kind of like how T-Mobile can roam on Sprint and AT&T at the moment.
And as long as those are reciprocal, I think everything is good.
Yep. And John M's right. Nobody does want to roam.
Well, I mean, that's not preferred, but what are you supposed to do? You've got a young network. It's going to take some time.
I remember when I got mother got her first Bell Atlantic cell phone. We were roaming on New England Bell, and that was a pain in the keister.
We're talking early 90s, mid 90s?
Mid 90s, yeah.
Is that when roaming cost 15 cents a minute?
Yeah, you basically kept your phone off in case unless you needed to make an emergency call.
God, man, I remember AT&T used to have some heavy roaming back in the late 90s. So obviously there's a need for it to be national. Got to get some coverage there. The second thing is, if it's going to be prepaid, it's going to be directly competing with Metro. Why would T-Mobile want to contribute to a direct competition to their prepaid side?
The real question is, why would they also want to contribute to direct competition on their postpaid?
It's really weird, man. I had a really hard time coming to grips with what the DOJ wants out of T-Mobile in this.
Why would a company willingly create more competition for themselves? That seems kind of not in their best interest.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think all companies can agree competition drives innovation and value to their customers. But directly building a network for another company really makes zero sense.
Well, part of the reason why T-Mobile's the quote-unquote uncarrier is because John Leisure was pissed off by the AT&T board. So sometimes vendettas help.
Like, got an axe to grind.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best way to get something done is when somebody's mad at somebody else.
Now, Dave, you're pretty savvy with the spectrum. Pete, you know spectrum pretty well also. What I'm hearing right now, and I've heard this from multiple sources, the spectrum that is going to be given to the new fourth carrier is going to be the band 41 Sprint and the 700 megahertz T-Mobile. Band 41 Sprint is kind of a big deal. I don't think T-Mobile wants to lose that.
No.
I don't
see that happening.
And the 700 megahertz for T-Mobile, that makes sense that they would give up some of it because it's low frequency and it's got good coverage and good range. But that band 41 kind of sticks with me a little bit. T-Mobile doesn't want to give that up, man.
If I had to choose what I would give up 1900 from Sprint, or is it 17 or 19, and 700 from T-Mobile. But I'd want to hold on to that band 41 with both hands like a life raft, because they have like 100 megahertz of that in most places. T-Mobile needs that spectrum. That's the whole reason for this merger to begin with. Is
I
to
want
get
you
a hold of
guys,
that spectrum.
Dave and Pete, I want you guys to look in the live chat. Steve Sanchez says they have a lot of band 41. John M says, I love when I have band 41. Do you see how important it is to Sprint's performance on their network?
I thought Sprint was band 41 if you were connected.
It's crucial. Well, they have 25 and what is it? 25 and 26. Yeah. But that
Mark
41
Hoyle,
is monumentally important.
yeah, Mark Hoyle says, I don't believe you give up all the spectrum, just a portion of it. I don't know. That's probably what T-Mobile is working with in terms of the concessions with the DOJ. How much do they have to give up, and which spectrum do they, is it going to be?
My initial thought was that was let Neville pick.
Let him pick, right?
Yep, let Neville pick.
And he's going to pick the 700. He's going to give it up smooth.
Yep. And whatever he lets go could easily go to Trump Wireless.
Steve Sanchez says band 26, which is 800 megahertz, is what they should give up if they can.
Yeah.
John M says band 41 better than band 25, which is better than band 26.
I could see you do a talk network on 26.
Oh, to carry the voice?
Yeah.
I think they should give up 12 and 26.
Is band 26 that bad?
Yes.
What about band 25?
It's decent sometimes. I mean, when I was on Sprint for a little bit, I was on the Ting MVNO side of Sprint. And when I was on 25, I could pull 5 to 10 megabits a second down, but that was in the middle of the city.
So the band 41 is crucial for like the viability of the network.
If they don't get band 41, they might as well not do it.
They might as well be in 3G.
That's how important it is. If there is no band 41, or if they can't get that band 41, most of it, they might as well call off the merger right now, because that's the whole point, is to get that band 41.
It's worth, the entire band is basically worth $26 billion.
It's
really
worth its weight in gold. That spectrum is absolutely crucial.
Huh. What's the frequency on band 41?
2.5 gig.
It is the 2.5. Okay. Cameron says, I'm sorry, Brad B says band 41 is a 2496 megahertz. Yep, 2.5. This is what Sprint is using for the foundation of the 5G rollout. Okay. Just catching up with the semantics.
Yeah. I have an employee poking in on the podcast.
Hello.
All right, guys. In terms of Dish, that's a name that's been floating around. $30 billion in spectrum holdings. I had no idea they had that much.
I was surprised when I read about it.
$30 billion. That's a different mix of spectrums also. They have 80 to 100 megahertz of low frequency, which is obviously ideal for a new carrier. I mean, if you're talking like instant coverage, it's like instant oatmeal, right? We're talking some low band. And then, go ahead, Pete.
And it'd be like the AT&T 4G stuff, only good in cities.
Well, I mean, for blanketing coverage, it's useful.
Yeah.
Mark says, and they're not using it. That's true. They're not using it. But, Mark, let's be honest here. Is there a better time for Dish to get in wireless than right now?
I thought that they were trying to get into IoT, but why
They're
would they
definitely
need that
going to
much
get into IoT, but that's going to be high frequency stuff.
And why would they need that much spectrum for IoT? They're just sitting on this stuff.
Now would be the time to sell it to that fourth carrier or become the fourth carrier.
That's true. From my understanding, I've always considered Dish to just be nothing but a big spectrum squatter, because they buy the spectrum and they just sit on it, and the SEC says you have to do something with it or else we'll take it away. So they do the minimum they can to use it.
Dave, they have spent $20 billion since 2018 on Spectrum. Or no, since 2007. Or no, my bad. As of 2019, over the course of the last 10 years, Dish has spent $20 billion on Spectrum. And the only reason they're not taking it away from them or, trying to get them to auction it or sell it is what they do is they put some towers and some connectivity on the very, very edge of cities to act like it's operational.
Right.
So kind of frustrating. This could prove to be an opportunity for them to either get in the game themselves or sell at high for the fourth carrier. We'll have to wait and see if Dish does anything, but it does make sense for them to get in now. U.S. Cellular was brought up in the comment section in the last couple of videos. What do you guys think of U.S. Cellular?
You can get a phone call somewhere other carriers won't.
Well, no, I'm talking about their prospects as the fourth carrier.
They'd have to become postpaid.
They're not considered postpaid?
I don't know anything about them. I just assume they're prepaid.
No, I think they are postpaid. They're just more regional based.
They cover Iowa, part of Minnesota, and I think Wisconsin, and then they have roaming everywhere else in the country. So their native network is only in the Midwest, and they have a little bit in like Maine or something, I think it is.
That's pretty random because most of their operations out of the Midwest.
Yeah, I don't know what I feel about that, and they're a privately held company. I don't know how I feel about them being a fourth national carrier. They don't seem to do much.
I don't see it happening. They have very little spectrum holdings. They have very little operational income.
They still haven't rolled out voice over LTE yet. They barely have LTE, from what I understand. A lot of their network was still 2G until,
Yeah, I don't see that being legit. I don't know why everybody keeps saying U.S. Cellular. I don't think that's legit. Happening. So Comcast is a no. Charter is a no. U.S. Cellular is a no. I think Dish is possible. I think Amazon is possible.
I think Amazon's the best bet.
How would you consider being a customer on Amazon?
I wouldn't consider being a customer of any of these phone companies we've brought up.
I'll be a customer on any phone carrier as long as I find the price to be decent and they don't try to sell me crap phones. Like, for example, I'm not buying an Amazon an Amazon locked Android phone with all their like bloatware and stuff like that on it. So if the only phones that are going to work on them are the Amazon Prime Edition phones or something, I would not even consider it.
So I was making a joke, and I think it was Xander on the Discord brought it up. Amazon, if they got a phone carrier agreement for a network, they may actually put ads in instead of ringing. Like some free network he posted a video for.
Oh, God.
Oh, I know what you're saying. So to keep the service free, you're putting ads on it.
Or reasonably priced. They'd put ads in.
Okay, so like $20 a month and then ads.
Yep.
So like when you made a phone call, you would get like a 10-second ad before your phone call would ring through?
No, it's until the other guy picks up.
Oh, God, no.
Most people I call don't pick up. So if I use them, I'd have a 25-second ad.
No.
Carl says, any thoughts on Visible Wireless or Mint Mobile? Mint's, what is that, an MVNO of T-Mobile?
Yeah, Mint is a T-Mobile MVNO, and they're actually pretty good, too. I would recommend them for some people.
Yeah, I don't know much about them or their rates, but I've seen the ads. They do bundles in like 3 months or 6 months.
Yeah, they do.
Like that. So there's some value there if you'll pay ahead. Visible, Visible's got the coverage. It runs off of Verizon, but you're
It
capped
is
at 5
Verizon.
megabits per second.
It is Verizon.
It is Verizon.
Yeah, it is Verizon. Verizon
Okay, so
actually runs
Verizon, one of Verizon's little tentacles then.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you 5 megabits per second up, 5 megabits per second down, 5 megabits per second on your hotspot, but everything's unlimited.
I would actually consider that as a
Are they
as
at
a
$40
tech person,
or $45 a month? I think
40.
40.
As a tech person, that's actually something that I would consider because even though I don't do large files, I do a lot of video calling and YouTube watching and stuff like that, and 5 megabits is perfectly fine for that. So
It is.
that's actually something I'd consider it, even as a tech person.
Verizon prepaid has a $45 a line offer that blows that out of the water, though.
No, it's not unlimited. It's like 16 gigs of data at doubled right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 8 gigs, and then they're doubling it to give you 16.
I guess Verizon lied to one of my clients. Wouldn't be the first time.
Huh. Yeah, really though. Verizon lying? Who would have thought?
Hove says devices integrated with Alexa. If it's going to be an Amazon-owned company, for sure, it'll be built into probably the SIM card, right, to automatically download those apps. And then they'll probably sell devices with all those apps pre-installed. You'll have a ton of bloatware.
Built into the SIM card?
Like, so as soon as the network connects, all that stuff starts getting pushed through the software, carrier services.
That's all done through OS. The SIM card doesn't have that much space on it.
Well, I can tell you right now, when I put my Verizon SIM into my Google Pixel 3a XL, it wanted to automatically download my Verizon.
Really? When I do that with any phone on T-Mobile, it doesn't do anything.
Well, Verizon tried a slick one. I had to cancel that download with the quickness. DJ Keys says, I think it's still too much that's being asked from the DOJ. It is a lot. I mean, but we don't know everything just yet. I think we'll know more middle of next week. You know, June 4th, June 5th. We'll definitely know more by then. John M says, yeah, screw the fourth carrier. It's just not going to work out. It could. I don't know. We have to see what the agreement's going to be. Blind Droid Tech says, what's up, Sneed? Been with you before 100 subs. I'd like to see you a cellular get in as the fourth carrier. I have them. I don't know how legitimate of a player they could be. But yeah, thank you for riding with me and being with me since 100 subs. Appreciate it very much. Where was I? Man. No one wants a new carrier. They'll have no service in the beginning. John M., that really just depends on how much low-frequency spectrum they can get a hold of and what type of roaming agreements they have.
I know what this new carrier could do. They could take that little amount of spectrum, whatever spectrum they get or can get a hold of, and they could make it a carrier, like those little jitterbug phones or whatever for people in their 80s and 90s, and all it would have would be voice and text.
Oh, you mean Obama phones?
Yes.
DJ Gaydon is in the house, and he said, I'm still wondering what's going to happen to PR Wireless here in Puerto Rico. I don't know anything about the Puerto Rican carriers or how, if it's like a roaming agreement with anybody else. Is that AT&T or T-Mobile? I don't know if they have presence there.
AT&T and T-Mobile do. Verizon and Sprint don't.
And that would make sense because when Verizon and Sprint started, they were CDMA. Sanders Strebor says $20 for 3 gigs of LTE. That's a pretty good deal if you're getting unlimited talk and text. Zoli says, and he brings up a good point, Amazon will have their phone service on the drones when they deliver your package. I hear that delivering services would be enhanced by this network. That'd be pretty cool.
Now that would be a good point, but that wouldn't be a consumer. Again, that goes back to an Amazon-run wireless network for Amazon employees and Amazon equipment. But yeah, drones, I can totally see drones having... Although, actually, no, they can't. the FCC prohibits air use of mobile networks, no matter what.
What else we got in the live chat here? Carl says AT&T prepaid has a Walmart unlimited plan for $45 a month. Is that unlimited high-speed data? I mean, that's a pretty good deal on the AT&T network. U.S. Cellular has around 5 million customers, 426 markets in 23 states. So they are a player, but are they going to jump in the big pond? Or are they just happy being the way they are? Brock brings up a good point. Are they content just being a regional carrier with their little bit of roaming agreements? But Brock, their LTE coverage it's low capacity. You can't do much on their network. If you look at the type of customers U.S. Cellular has, they're low demand. They don't need a high performing network. That would have to change if they're going to be a fourth national carrier.
Yeah, U.S. Cellular serves farmers and their families out in rural Ohio, Iowa.
Let's see who else is in the chat here. They says Hove says I would love to see Amazon buy Boost Mobile personally. A lot of people are liking the idea of Amazon. I think they trust in that Amazon could do something legitimate. Wow, Mark says if I was Amazon, would record all the text data and voice calls like they do with Alexa, probably.
I made that joke too.
Yeah, Alexa would be in on everything.
Oh dear.
I'd get
I could see.
so annoyed if the Alexa call screening was bogging down my T-Mobile network, though.
Calvin says, remember, President Trump is auctioning new spectrum later this year that will be the most ever for carriers to purchase. I got a video up and coming. I'm working on the script now. The most recent auction just closed. I think it was on Tuesday. They auctioned off a bunch of, I think it was 28 gigahertz spectrum, and then it's going to be 24 gigahertz spectrum. The big one that's happening in December is actually for higher wave spectrum. 37, 39, like really high millimeter wave.
Wait, they're selling, what is it, channel 18?
Yeah. Yep. These are all TV airwaves that are all being decommissioned and refarmed and repurposed.
This is VHF.
Pete, they're talking like billions of dollars in spectrum is going to be sold. And it's all millimeter wave.
Yeah, VHF.
That would be above VHF. That'd be microwave.
Oh.
VHF
once it goes over like 39, right?
VHF goes from 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz, and then it's UHF, and then microwave. So all of that is microwave, millimeter wave.
Really?
Yeah, anything above 300 megahertz is not VHF.
Yeah. I'm wrong sometimes.
The only reason I know that is because of being an amateur radio operator.
So you're familiar with all the different types of frequencies.
Yeah, because we get HF, VHF, UHF, microwave. We get different amounts of spectrum in those different bands.
What else is going on here in the chat? Raphael says Amazon Wireless. I don't know. I feel like everybody's leaning towards Amazon getting this deal. G-Man says, what about Dish Network buying Boost? It's possible. Dish has a lot of spectrum. If they were to inherit 8 million customers, that gives them a good start at a network for sure.
I actually wouldn't mind, Google buying them up and then doing a Google Plus with the network.
Damon Fowler says consumer. Wait, I just lost it. Consumer cellular has been around longer before President Obama ever took office. Yeah, but I don't know if that makes them a legitimate option. Dreams King says Google is under contract with T-Mobile and Sprint for Google Fi. It's about competition. Google Fi plans are kind of the best idea to put on a nationwide scale. I don't know. You're paying by the gig. I don't really like that in
You're
terms of, well, paying by the gig is not a problem, but if it was like $1 a gig,
what you're doing is they charge you. I think it's up to $70. Your phone bill goes to 70, and then it won't go any higher.
so
Yep.
that would be like unlimited at $70.
Yeah, basically, it's unlimited at 70. I actually like the way Google does their allotments though, because
Yeah,
of the
but
fact that
$10 a gig is expensive.
And
Yeah.
isn't the data on file like pulled between all the lines you have on the plan?
yeah. Yes, I believe so.
No, each line is separate.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, each line is separate. You could have 5 lines on a Google Fi plan, and each one gets charged its own billing.
Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, that's
Zen Pyro. What about
the-
Disney Mobile? They have more money than anything. And yeah, then you'd have like what is it, ESPN Mobile only on Disney.
If you guys don't mind, I would like to close with one more thing. Sprint has gone ahead and officially launched their new 5G network. They're in a handful of cities. Dallas was the big one. I'm seeing a lot of speed tests. I'm seeing videos. It's really good, actually. Sprint's 5G is decent. People are able
2.5.
to connect to the network consistently, and they're getting speeds in the low end at 100 megs per second, at the high end, a little bit over 500 megabits per second.
Ooh, wow.
That's pretty good, guys. That's better than what Verizon could say when they first launched 5G about a month ago.
So what phones can connect to their 5G right now?
One phone,
One? Which one?
LG V50 Thin Q.
That's not bad.
The phone
For
is
Sprint.
the phone, Dave, is $1,160, or you can lease it on the Sprint Flex lease for like $30 a month.
But at the end of the flex lease, they have you traded into a new phone.
Yeah, you don't have anything when you're done with the lease.
Yeah, ouch, that's painful.
The
That
other,
price hurts.
yeah, the other thing is you can connect via the HTC 5G hub, which is fine because if you think about it, then you can connect anything, right? You could connect your smartphone, your tablet, your iPad, your laptop, your Chromebook, whatever, right? It'd be really, really fast.
So I'm impressed that the fastest Sprint 5G network is in Overland Park, Kansas.
Isn't that their headquarters?
Yep.
It is.
Yeah, Sprint's 5G is fast.
You know, if Sprint hadn't been plagued with bad decision after bad decision, I don't think we'd be sitting here talking about T-Mobile buying Sprint.
No, it might
Because
be the
I
other
think
way around.
Yeah, I think Sprint could be at least possibly obliterating T-Mobile because of the spectrum holdings they have.
I remember Sprint in its heyday, guys. It's really sad to see what's happened. But I think what you said is interesting, saying that had they have not gone through the Radio Shack thing, the WiMAX thing, accrued all of that debt. I actually just did the math. Sprint has accrued $3 billion in interest on their debt just in the
Just
last
this
year.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'd
incredible.
I'd like to comment on something Noel said in the chat about T-Mobile launching a 5G network in Manhattan, which there was a video of on our Discord and story. But yeah, they may be rolling out 5G networks, T-Mobile, but there are no phones that officially support their 5G at the moment.
The connected device that we saw a couple of days ago, the patrons already have access to this video. I'm thinking about making it public here. There's a guy in Manhattan. He was testing the 5G network for T-Mobile. It's running millimeter wave. It's not running on 600 megahertz. It's not band 71. It's definitely millimeter wave. They're getting almost 500 megabits per second. And what they're using is the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G, but it's an unlocked device. So they bought it from Verizon. They put a T-Mobile SIM in it, and it's working through millimeter wave. So that means T-Mobile is using millimeter wave for 5G in places like New York City and probably Chicago and other big cities. The 600 megahertz that everybody is, thrilled about for
That's going
5G.
to be their fallback.
Well, it's going to be in more extended areas. It's going to be more rural, and it's going to be more highway based.
Where you don't need to be downloading your 24 gig files.
But it'd be nice to get your consistent 100 megabits per second with latencies below 5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I find interesting is the fact that this guy had a Samsung Galaxy S10 5G. We didn't know that there was going to be compatibility there, but it looks like it is. It looks like the phones are unlocked, and you could take a Verizon S10 5G and use it with any millimeter wave spectrum, which is pretty cool. Now, you guys know how much that phone is, right?
It's like $1,300, isn't it?
1,300.
Also,
The
what bands does it support? Because it might just be a fluke where T-Mobile and Verizon happen to be using very similar bands.
well, the
Because
5G modem in that phone is compatible with all millimeter wave.
oh, okay,
So for the 5G modem part, there's LTE modem built in as well. So if you know anything about Verizon phones, you know that they're compatible with all LTE bands. All right, we got a super chat coming from iYellow Dragon, BG Grizzly 30, $2 super chat. Thanks for the donation.
Nice.
T-Mobile rep told me that the OnePlus 7 Pro is 5G equipped. That is true. There is going to be a 5G model OnePlus 7 Pro.
I think we missed the super chat by Byron Lemus. Thank you, Mr. Lemus.
Oh, did we miss a super chat? Oh, Brian Lemus in the house. Glad you could be here, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Didn't see that. My bad. I'm a horrible host. I'm the worst. Southern Mama's Crafting Craziness says, I work as a T-Mobile manager, and I'm not sure how I feel about this merger. You probably have nothing to be worried about in terms of job security, in terms of, customer relations. I think all that is going to be good.
You might get people asking about their TV offers.
Yeah, and their home internet.
Yeah. Unless they convert that Sprint store 3 doors down to that.
I think what people are forgetting is T-Mobile wants to do more. That's ultimately what they're trying to do here. They're not satisfied. They want to grow. They want to be like Verizon and AT&T in terms of scale.
Or better.
Well, yeah. EV1 says, Sneed, are you keeping your job private? What does that mean?
Don't you say a lot you're a public school teacher?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he meant by that. Zen Pyro says, I was told by T-Mobile in Tennessee that if I want better coverage, then I need a new company. What?
Could be the case.
Who would say that? Hove says, you think Boost Mobile stores have anything to worry about? Yes. They have uncertainty. We don't really know exactly who's going to be retaining their job, which sites are going to be retained, that sort of thing. So yes, they have something to be worried about. Vester Champify says, do you remember what they were promising to do in California if they got the merger approved? Yeah, it was a network build out, very specifically designed for California residents. It was going to be a really, really strong network investment there. Pete, do you remember how much that investment was?
At least 8 figures.
I remember it was a massive number. California is a big state. They got a lot of people.
Well, as long as when you visit the Hotel California it works, I don't mind.
Damon Fowler says T-Mobile does have a 5G phone. It's the Samsung Galaxy S10 plus 5G. They don't officially support it. They don't carry that phone in their stores. The S10 5G that was used for that speed testing in Manhattan was actually an unlocked Verizon S10 5G. Troy, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate the kind words. That is true, EV1. I have no affiliation with T-Mobile.
I
None.
still say I'm not doing 5G until we get $200 or $300 phones with it. When your Pixel 3a or your Pixel whatever A has 5G, then I'll consider it. Until then, there's no way.
Mark Hoyle says T-Mobile is becoming AT&T and Verizon. Prices slightly going up. Mark, I can't disagree with you more, man. T-Mobile has done everything in their power to not raise prices and to keep things low. They painstakingly had to increase the rates on the Netflix, and they really didn't want to, but they had to.
Actually, they did a ninja price cut to the Magenta Plus, if you read into it.
Yeah, they did drop it from that end, so they actually added some value in some ways.
They dropped Magenta Plus $2 a month.
So there it is. It covers up that little price hike.
Yeah.
Let's see here. M. Keller says, I need to correct you after a Sprint Flex leave is over. You can pay the portion or you could walk away from it. Yeah. I understand how it works. Raphael says, I never see customers going into Boost Mobile stores by me. Yeah, I mean, I remember when Boost had like 12 to 15 million subs. They're down to like 7 or 8 million. Donnie O says, will it help us in California with Sprint? I have 7 to 8 drop calls per day. Dang.
Ouch.
Donnie O, I recommend texting.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
I recommend using the internet for your calls. That's what I learned to do when I was on AT&T at my house. Internet.
Dave, you're pretty knowledgeable in this area. M. Keller says, I'm so afraid this millimeter wave is going to give us all brain tumors. Dave, could you handle that, please?
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because the power limits that they're going to be using on these things, millimeter wave doesn't penetrate anything. It won't penetrate skin. It won't penetrate raindrops. If it's raining and you're using millimeter wave, there's a good chance you'll lose it. And I don't believe, no, not with the power limits they're using. If you're standing right next to the tower site and they're using 1,000 watts, then okay, I could understand that. But they're using 40 or 50 watts on these tower sites. No, that's not going to hurt you.
Malcolm Yapel, if you could, you're just gonna have to watch it on DVR. These podcasts do play back, so once it uploads, once I end the stream, you can catch up with everything.
Was Yuong Xiao? Sorry for butchering your name. Sorry we missed your comment just before the Yellow Dragon super chat. He says, honestly, I don't think the Sprint and T-Mobile merger is going to be good, because what happens if you have good signal for both services? Phone's going to act crazy. Actually, no. Before they allow you to jump into the T-Mobile allows you to jump into the Sprint spectrum, they're going to sanitize it and make it so both bands interact correctly.
Yeah, there's going to be a full network integration protocol.
Over 3 years.
It's going to take some time, but it's going to be good. It'll be fine.
Yeah, no.
They've got to decommission the CDMA part. They got to get people out of those devices. And they got to get people with compatible LTE devices.
No, your phone's not going to act crazy. They're going to integrate it properly.
Kamikaze Kid. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's part of what they've got to do to get this to work.
Kamikaze Kid says, hey, Sneed, just wanted to say thank you for all your videos and info you put out for the viewers. Appreciate the kind words. Glad that you're enjoying the channel and all the content. I definitely enjoy doing it. I have a lot of fun making the videos. And, the community interaction is probably the best part. I make sure at the end of every video to thank all the viewers and subscribers that have stuck with me through the whole way. So big shout out to all the subs and the viewers on Sneed Mobile Tech.
And how are we only at 60 likes?
The goal was to get to 100. I know that people are out there have not hit the like button. Go ahead and do that now. Let's get to 100 likes. I mean, the boss has been telling you guys the whole time. Raphael's been saying it. Hit the like button. M. Keller says, I get a ping of 30 milliseconds on Sprint now. Why do I care about the difference in that and 5 makes no difference to the average consumer? Actually, it does. When the average consumer starts gaming, he will care if it's 5 milliseconds.
You think you can't see 5 milliseconds? You can see 5 milliseconds.
I mean, it's a huge difference in gaming. It's going to be a huge difference in how consistent your connectivity is. Nocturnal plays Walmart to buy Boost Mobile. I don't think so. I haven't heard Walmart being tossed around at all, actually.
No.
Steve says T-Mobile made promises with every state that might try to block the merger. That's probably smart. That way the states can't sue. They say, oh, we got
the palms.
Yeah, got to, man.
Thanks for the dollar mark, Hoyle.
Oh, we got a super chat?
Yeah.
I'm still catching up, man. The live chat has been like super active. It's been totally lit the last few live streams. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up there. Mark Hoyle with the $1 super chat. There we go. My stuff's running a little bit late. Thank you for the donation, Mark. Much appreciated. Sprint launched voice over LTE in my area today. Really late, but finally here. That's from Steve Sanchez. Man, I'm glad they got it to you. It's nice being able to browse while being on the phone. You got the phone on speaker. You can kind of access whatever you got to do. And people take it for granted. It's valuable.
Yeah, they're only just about 2 or 3 years too late.
Raphael, if the merger doesn't go through, business as usual.
Yeah, Sprint goes back to being their debt-laden company that's struggling to keep their customers and be profitable. And T-Mobile continues to build out LTE and deploy their 5G and work towards getting the TV on a grand scale and home internet throughout the nation.
If the merger fails, T-Mobile folds within 10 years, and the spectrum is put up on auction for the highest bidder.
T-Mobile?
Not T-Mobile. My bad. Sprint.
Oh, okay.
Sprint folds. No,
I was going to say
there's no way.
The prospects
no way
of T-Mobile is very rosy. I think they're doing fine.
Yeah, no. But Sprint folds within a decade or less, and the spectrum is sold to the highest bidder.
Blind Droid Tech says, I hope that Neville Ray stays with T-Mobile for as long as possible. Yeah, I haven't heard of anything of him leaving. I've heard of John kind of bowing out, but I haven't heard anything about Neville Ray. Mark says, can T-Mobile just buy the spectrum directly from Sprint? Sprint's going to wait on that probably.
They may be able to do it under a certain bankruptcy filing.
Like certain chapter?
Yeah, but only under that bankruptcy filing.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see if that's an option if the merger doesn't go through.
Basically, they could sell a huge chunk of their spectrum to pay off their unsustained debt to get back to being financially solid.
What's interesting? I thought about like how this merger is kind of proceeding and how it's going through these paces. And somebody said, why don't they just do it as an acquisition? The DOJ would never even consider it as an acquisition.
No, they're both too large for it to be an acquisition. You would need to be like, what is it, like 1/50th the size?
Emily Koch says, do you think the merger will go through? Why or why not? I think the merger is going to be approved. I think it's all going to happen. I don't know what the concessions are going to be in terms of finalization, but here's why I know that the merger is going to happen. Do you guys realize that it's been over a year since this whole thing was proposed? The FCC has already given their approval. The DOJ is trying to find a way to make it happen.
Hasn't been shot down yet.
It's going to happen. And I just think it's that last little piece, let's create this fourth carrier, let's divest Boost, let's see if we could distribute some of the spectrum, and we'll give it a go. I think it's going to happen for sure. It would have been denied by now. Our real talk says the DOJ sucks, and I don't know why they put their noses in stuff that they don't know nothing about, in my personal opinion. I think a lot of people agree with you there, bro. It's kind of frustrating.
They have to sound like they know what they're doing.
No, they have to sound like they care about the people. They're definitely not going to sound like they know what they're talking about.
They have no idea what they're talking about.
Emily Koch says, I actually work at T-Mobile, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to see how it pans out. Should be excited. The network is going to be bolstered. T-Mobile will be a force to be reckoned with. Southern Mama's crafting craziness. Why would T-Mobile and Sprint be okay with that 4-carrier crap? Just to get the deal to go through. M. Craig, glad you could be here. Thank you so much for visiting and stopping by.
3 months, Mark. 3 months.
Mark Hoyle says, how long did it take for AT&T and T-Mobile deal to get shut down? Almost immediately. The Obama administration was not having it.
Nope, not having it.
There was no mergers. There was going to be no acquisitions under the Obama administration. This is merger season. This is acquisition season.
Because the people with the power to say don't know how toxic it is or get kickbacks, no matter how toxic it is.
Hey, Pete, could you read the statement from Nocturnal Plays? I feel weird saying that aloud.
Hit that like button, guys.
This guy is a legend. How
is this?
Thanks, man. Thank you. That's a compliment.
You're not subbed. He only has 3.6K.
I know, man. I'm trying to get to legendary status.
Subscribe. Get to ring that bell.
Because Trump Mobile. I see what you did there.
Crazy. John Phillips is chiming in. I work for Sprint, but if the 4th carrier concession is accepted, it defeats the purpose of a strong, viable third competitor. If the combined company has to give money, time, and spectrum up.
Agreed.
I guess it just kind of depends how much they have to give up. Giving up Boost is understood. Giving up some spectrum is fine. I just don't think they should be giving up too much.
I think Neville should pick the spectrum.
Neville's going to give up 700.
Yep. And I think the DOJ has absolutely no idea what they're talking about, creating a 4th carrier. Out of what? Again, that defeats the entire purpose of this entire thing.
I'm starting to believe you guys out there. You really want a Trump Mobile. Everybody keeps saying it. Every time you turn on your phone, you got a picture of his head.
But then when the next president got elected, he would immediately change the name to his own, and so
No.
Then you'd have Sneed Mobile.
It wouldn't be president affiliation. It would just be like, the Trump brand steaks. You get the parts of the steak nobody else wants.
Oh, okay.
We call it No China Mobile.
Yes, T-Mobile should totally give up Edge. Same with Sprint. You can get an Edge carrier nationwide.
Why the hell wouldn't nobody even calls anymore? We just talked about how you can only text on Sprint. What the hell?
But Edge is only Edge is just a very tiny sliver of spectrum. I guess if they gave up that little, I guess that would be acceptable.
It's not going to cut it, man. They're not.
Oh
that
God,
stupid.
no.
M. Krieg says, I say let things happen naturally. I'm a big fan of that too. When it happens organically, customers have a better feel for the market. They feel like nothing's being imposed on them. It makes more sense.
Oh, I got one.
Go ahead.
Here's the new carrier. 5 megahertz of 700, 5 megahertz of 17, 5 megahertz of 19, and 5 megahertz of 21, and 5 megahertz of band 41.
So what are you at, about 50 megahertz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what you give up, but you don't give up so much in one single band.
Trump Mobile, you roam in Russia for free.
Trump Mobile, make phones great again. Oh my God. Donio.
Oh no.
Brian says DOJ is messed up to make a fourth carrier. John M says I call. You're one of the few. Noel
What's a phone
Martinez
call?
says they should get rid of Virgin Mobile. They don't even have HD calling. Virgin Mobile is, it's just basic provisions. It's very limited in feature set. It's not for the average user. It's for the minimalist user. John keeps saying, I call. Okay, man. Keep making your calls.
That's what Apple should name their cell phone carrier. iCall.
M. Craig says, capitalism will create the new carrier. It's like natural selection, evolution, my friend. Nice analogy, but it's really hard to make a carrier unless the government gets involved to kind of support it. So if they create the concessions and they create the divestiture of Boost, that kind of becomes the breeding ground for the new carrier.
I think Sneed should make a carrier.
Oh, no. They already want me to run for president, man. I'm not trying to mess with Trump Mobile, man.
No. Trump Mobile is a private company violating emoluments.
No, it's a private company that's been centralized.
Yes, and violates emoluments.
Blind Droid Tech says, I still think it's ridiculous with all the DOJ stuff and with T-Mobile and Sprint when they didn't ask for a single concession with the AT&T and Time Warner acquisition. Yeah.
Or the Fox Disney one. That
Nothing.
actually lowered the studios drastically.
It doesn't make sense. Like, they're asking so much out of these two smallest carriers in the nation, and AT&T just straight up bought Time Warner.
Did they get Spectrum Internet included?
I have no idea.
I still think they do.
Sanders Stieber says, I don't know anyone who texts over a network. We all use Instagram, Snap, and Messenger. Sorry, but anybody over the age of 20 probably sends text through Messenger.
I send texts all the time.
But what Sanders is saying, and this is true, all my students do this. They text through Snapchat. They text through Instagram. They don't use they use iMessage, but they don't use standard text messaging.
They use OTT things. I use a lot of WhatsApp and Signal Private Messenger, actually, so I know that feeling.
Right.
I just use the T-Mobile number text messaging. Works fine for me.
Nocturnal Plays says Comcast to buy Boost Mobile. That's probably not going to happen. They've already kind of said that they're not interested.
No.
Raphael says I text. I think, most people do.
Americans text.
Yes, they do. We're a texting nation.
Like, America texts. If you go to any other if you go to a lot of other countries, either text messages are so prohibitively expensive that no one does it, or they were so prohibitively expensive that no one did it, and no one still does it because they realize they use the OTT services. Go to India. They don't text.
Shout out to Brian in the chat. Clinton Mobile, where your messages always delete.
No, that already exists. That's not a sales gimmick.
Nintendo 504 says no, AT&T just bought Time Warner channels like HBO, etc. I thought it was more than that. Malcolm says I hate texting.
They didn't buy the Braves, I'll tell you that one.
All right. Zoli says come to Trump Mobile. You'll get 6G. Shout out to Rafael Perez. He's kind of modding over in the live chat. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey,
we're actually caught up in the live chat. I don't know, man. How long have we been going? It's been about an hour and a half. Is there anything else that you guys want to cover in the podcast? Dave, Pete, anything?
I like how my Trump Mobile joke is expanding.
DJ Gaydon says, and Disney, planning on buying the rest of Hulu too.
They
It's a
already
shame,
own
man. I have Hulu Live. I like the service. I don't know how I feel about Disney getting in on that. Don't they have enough already?
All of
Maybe, maybe Disney should make a phone carrier exclusively for little kids, and their parents get them, and their parents sign them up. That way when they're like 5 or 6 and they need to call their moms at summer camp.
I don't know, man. Doesn't Verizon have like just for kids?
So does T-Mobile, but it's $5 a month.
You gotta charge for that stuff. They should just be able to add a little line for a kid if your bill's already $200-300 a month.
Yeah, but it also includes like an in-home parental controls for the internet over the Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna get
Seems
my
worth
kid.
it if you're into it.
I'm gonna get my kid a can with two cans with a string.
I remember those days, man. You're talking cartoons, Roadrunner and stuff.
Yeah, man. I saw it. I saw a YouTube video where this 8-year-old got her amateur radio license. I thought that was pretty neat.
How close are we to this 100 likes, man? Where are we at here? I know we got about 92 people in the live chat, which is great. But what are we at for likes? What are we at here?
I'm at
We're at 90. Oh my God, we're so close. We need 9 more. All right, Nintendo 504. I'm leaving it to you and Rafael Perez. Get me 100 likes on this podcast right now.
People will chat live. Should I even do a like? I'm bossing my employees around at 9:30.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of mean, dude. Friday night, like, aren't you kind of tripping there, man?
It's not working.
Malcolm, get out of the live chat and then hit the like button. And then come back to the live chat and let me know how it went. Hey, Dave.
Yo.
How's that OnePlus, man? Talk to me.
I love it. It's really great. Although I have the Pixel 3 XL over here too, and I like the device, so I'm considering giving the OnePlus to my girlfriend, but I haven't fully decided yet. I love the device though. It's really great.
No complaints with the 3XL.
No, I actually seem to I like it.
Nintendo 504 has a question. And guys, just so you know, in the live chat, if you have any general questions or statements, go ahead. We're just kind of freely going about it. He says, at Sneed Mobile Tech. So asking again, will my iPhone XS Max work with the new T-Mobile?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Nothing will change. It will be fully compatible. I recommend getting the fully unlocked model from the Apple Store. If you already have yours.
Even the ones they sell through Sprint will work on any network now.
You just got to get them paid off, though, and get them unlocked.
Yep. But, yeah, it'll definitely work. No problems.
Sneed Mobile.
Sneed Mobile.
I got what you need, bruh.
Oh. Facepalm.
M. Krieg says, Apple can cut it.
Yep.
Yeah, they're kind of expensive. iPhones are not for the average Joe.
They're the Cadillac phone.
Hey, 99.
No, nice
You
comparison.
also need rust proofing.
I'm gonna buy my Nokia 6.1 and be happy.
So
J Mill, how's it going, man? Glad you could be here. I just added another like to the video. Thank you, J Mill. Much appreciated.
OG over here to my left says we're at 99 likes.
Come on.
100.
100!
Yeah.
Damn!
Right on. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for getting the video to 100 likes. We finally did it. I mean, it's a damn shame. Like, all these times where we've been hovering around 100 viewers and we haven't got 100 likes yet. Man, you guys making me have to beg here.
Hey, I tried to provide comic relief, good insight. What more can I do?
We do our best.
Make Sneed Mobile great again.
I hate you guys.
No,
We love you too.
Frankie says, so you said when will you do the video regarding the amount of spectrum Sprint has? I'll probably get to it some point at the end of the week. I've got to do a video on the spectrum auctions, the one that just finished on Tuesday, and then probably a little bit of a forecast for the one in December. So I got to do that one, and then I'll probably get to the one on the spectrum allocations nationwide. M. Krieg says better backgrounds, better audio, clean shaven. What is who?
Clean shave?
I'm not clean shaven. I got nothing in my background. Hopefully my audio is not bad.
I have a nice background and I haven't shaved in 3 years.
Yeah, if you're looking for Pete's face, good luck finding it.
And I'm just an ARRL logo.
Nocturnal Place says, Sneed, what companies do you think could buy Boost besides Amazon? I feel like Dish is a legitimate player in this. I also feel like Peter Adderton, the original founder of Boost, I think he's a name to watch too. He apparently has some interest in it. Noel says, Apple today confirmed that they will allow 200 megabit downloads on the App Store on cellular data as of today. What the hell is that?
Wait, they cap it at 200 megs?
When did that happen?
Today.
What? I had no idea that restriction was there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
I can download a gig off my Android app store on cellular, no problem.
I
Yeah,
have
they had
unlimited
this-
downloading. I don't understand that.
No. What it means is like the App Store, because the fact you are on cellular data, would say, hey, you're on cellular data, you shouldn't be downloading too much because you'll kill your data plan. So they would limit your the max size of apps you could download over data.
Oh, it's a feature to integrate with AT&T.
Oh, it's an AT&T thing?
No, it's a feature that they bake into the OS for AT&T users.
Well, that's why I've never seen it.
Well, Lord knows AT&T wants to nickel and dime you for every megabyte they can get out of you.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised.
Kill
DJ Gaiden text says, any good offers on phones with T-Mobile? I think the best thing they have going right now is the iPhone XR.
Buy one, get one.
And they're also doing $35 a month or $45 a month. Phone and service.
35, I think.
35?
Go buy a Nokia 6.1. It costs $230. You don't have to worry about having any kind of agreement, and it will work on the major carriers. Go buy it now.
Oh, I bought a OnePlus T7 or something like that outright for like $550, and that's a good phone.
I
That is
don't
a good phone.
I don't suggest leasing or like purchasing phones on like that ever.
No,
If you buy your phones outright,
go
you
to
can
the
do
internet.
much better because then you don't have debt.
T-Mobile does give
Phillips?
a military discount.
I think all the companies are doing military discounts now.
I think T-Mobile started it after Verizon had some issues.
With the first responders?
No, military phone pricing.
Well, I mean, they deserve a break, don't they?
Yeah.
John Phillips says, y'all check out my tech blog. I would like professional constructive criticism. Pete, if you can get on that, please.
John Phillips. Send me a direct message.
Donnie O says, why does Boost have to be sold? They're trying to retain a fourth carrier. They're trying to retain competition within the prepaid sector, trying to do what's best for the market.
Yeah, T-Mobile would have too much of the prepaid.
Like 42%. I lost my place. Where are we here? Man. Oh, there it is. There's the link, Pete.
I don't see it. Put it in the group hangout chat if you can.
It says fabletguru.wordpress.com.
Oh, you might have to allow it, Sneed.
I mean, it's showing.
I don't have any WordPress when I search the chat window.
It says fabletguru.wordpress.com.
Phablet.
Phablet. Troy Hicks says Dish. Dish seems to be a pretty popular opportunity here. A lot of people think Dish will make some noise. Oh, God. Southern Mama's crafting. Oh, God. Brian says it's not Boost anymore. It's Trump Mobile now. All right, it's official. Brian, put the bow on it.
Make our military great again.
Sean, thank you for liking the video.
Tablet Guru is not showing up on my WordPress. Copy the link and put it in the group chat.
Okay. Where did I got to go back. There it is. All right, there we go.
Who knows? Maybe if that happens, maybe it'll be a boost to our economy.
Craig says, oh, and Galaxy Watch, buy one, get one. I guess if you're looking for a wearable.
I still, after all this time, do not see the point in wearables that you have to charge every single day like you do your phone.
It's annoying. I wish there was a wearable that you only had to charge twice a week.
I mean, battery technology is just not up to standard yet, like not up to that point.
I'm not sure how. I don't know if you guys are very experienced with Dish. It's popping up now. Jay Mill says, I used to work for Dish. You don't want them buying any wireless company.
I have no experience with Dish besides satellite TV.
Yeah, same here. Frankie says, bottom line, Amazon is the best bet for a fourth carrier and will likely be the savior to this merger. Yes, no.
Wait, what's that streaming service they have too? Dish.
Sling.
Sling, that's it. That's a pretty good service actually, though.
It is pretty good actually. They were one of the originators of the streaming services.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's actually really good.
Real quick, thanks for the 99 cents, Noel Santos.
Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Thank you. And I'm trying to, I don't know, something's up with the live chat right now. I'm trying to load it and scroll.
I'm going to be looking through this Phablet Guru WordPress site. I'll give you some criticism probably by the end of the weekend.
Nocturnal Plays says Dish scams you. M. Krieg says Sling sucks.
I didn't say they were good. I said they were owned by Dish.
From
Super
what
chat from
experience
Jay
I've
Mill.
had with them.
Big shout out to Jay Mill. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. M. Craig says it's WordPress, dude. It will take the whole weekend. Oh, Nick Butterfield. Glad you could be here. Check out the Xiaomi Amaze Fitbit smartwatch. It has to be charged every 30 to 45 days. My question to that type of connectivity is how integrated is that device with a network? Is it just a wearable as in like a Fitbit, or is it a legit like wearable like smartwatch?
I miss my Pebble. I only had to charge that once a month.
They stopped supporting them. Didn't they shut it all down?
Yeah. So I stopped using it and got a Fitbit, but I miss it. The screen started going after 3 years.
I think wearables will take off more when battery technology gets better.
Yeah, I gotta charge my current Fitbit Blaze 2 once a week.
I mean, that's not bad for a smart device, but
It's too often.
Yeah, it's still too often. Because the thing is that a watch, watches either have to be like the old watches have to be wound, or like the new watches that take batteries, they last for years on a single battery.
John, that's why I bought a Fitbit. It had Pebble integrations.
But battery tech is just not up to snuff yet. I mean, they're working on it. That's something that maybe I should do a video on that.
I'm watching it. I'll share it.
I'm watching
I'll
it.
promote it.
Maybe I should do a video on battery technology because it's something that does interest me.
Yeah, we got to get to that graphene really quick. I'm done with lithium ion, man.
I got into the College of Engineering at my university for saying I wanted to work with graphene.
We need it.
Man,
We need more
graphene would be-
capacity. We need the
graphene would be
speed. We
awesome.
need the durability. We need the resilience.
Dude, I want it for my CPU so I don't hit a thermal limit when I'm trying to get to 8 gigahertz.
It's hard
I
to
want it-
do. We can't do it with lithium ion.
I
Or
want it to make a phone last a week without charging.
Well, it's fine if it only lasts a day or two, but can it charge in 30 minutes from 0 to 100?
no.
That's what I want.
That
I
would be
want
awesome.
both.
I want full charge in 30 minutes, and I want to do it twice a week.
So what we need to do is we need to put we need to make supercapacitors really, really small and have a supercapacitor in our phone. So you plug your phone in for 30 seconds and it charges to 100%.
It could be a
Sounds
dream.
like voodoo.
What do we got here? John says, I miss my Pebble time. Yeah, those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
M. Krieg says 30-minute charging twice a week. That's where I'm at.
That'd be
Graphene
awesome.
batteries by Samsung Industrial.
Yeah, Samsung's got a good thing going on with the graphene tech.
Aren't they using like
Industrial,
little
not
balls or something?
electronics.
Aren't they making like little graphene balls or something?
Yes, but it's
Yep.
their industrial division, not their phones.
Take a look at Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur. It has nothing to do with batteries, but he talks about making space habitats out of graphene.
Because
Huh.
it's organic, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really, really strong.
Yes,
talks
by
about making, like-
definition, graphene is organic.
Carbon-based, right?
It's just a single atom thick layer of carbon. Yeah, it's Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur. He's really cool, and some of his stuff is really awesome.
M. Craig says 30-minute charging twice a week, like sex.
Oh God.
Noel Santos, what are the odds of Walmart getting into the whole mix of wanting to be the fourth carrier?
0.
I don't
doubt
think
it.
so.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, Rafi, I'm talking 0 to 100%, 30 minutes tops, and 3 to 4 days. You know. Nocturnal Blaze says KFC to buy Boost Mobile, so they can say it's finger swiping good.
Oh.
Anywho, we've been at this for like an hour 50, and I think my other half might be looking for me.
Pete, thanks for being on, my dude.
We can wrap it up now, or I'm going to cut out.
Go ahead. Me and Dave will wrap up if you got to bounce. Thank you for being here, Pete.
Yeah, man. It's been entertaining.
I'm glad. Peace.
Thank you for joining.
See ya.
All right. We still got some people going at it in the live chat. Jay Mill. I like the convenience of inductive charging. Fast charging is life. I think OnePlus has the Dash Charge, Warp Charge. Seems to be the best tech out there right now.
It is absolutely amazing. I can plug my phone in for like 30 minutes or so and have most of my battery. It's
Like
it's
80
really
to
crazy.
80 to 90%, right?
It's nuts. It's just crazy. And I think they changed it to Warp Charge now. It used to be Dash Charge.
I got to see if I can find a way to make somebody a moderator in the chat.
I know it's
Rafael
possible. I just don't know how.
Rafael Perez is now a moderator for your channel. All right, Rafael, you have been knighted. You're my mod. Nick Butterfield says, how do you guys feel about the Google Pixel 3a and 3a XL? How do I feel about it? That's a good question. I bought one.
And I like the idea. I don't own one, but I love the idea. I think that's a good because Google is a software company. I think there was an episode of Front Page Tech where John Prosser talked about that Google needed to meet consumers in the middle and show them that good software is what matters. And you can do good software on not the best hardware in the world, and it still works fine because of the software experience. And that's what phones are today, is software. We're done really innovating with hardware.
What I see with this new Google phone, like the 3A and the 3A XL, They did a good thing with the package. They're giving you a good software experience. They're charging you $399 or $479 depending on the model. They're giving you a class-leading camera, regardless of price point. It's truly amazing what they did for a package without having to break the bank. You're paying half the price of a flagship to get flagship-like experience. No wireless charging, no waterproofing, but a truly excellent user experience.
But if my child drops a Pixel 3, like a Pixel 3a or a Pixel 3a XL, you may be upset, but you're not going to be as nearly as upset as if they dropped and broke their like Galaxy S10 plus 5G.
Yeah. I think it's a nice package. I think it's a good price point. I think it's going to sell pretty well. We'll see by the end of the year. I have a feeling that it's going to outsell probably the 3 and the 3XL threefold.
I would agree with
I think it's going to sell a lot better.
I would agree with that.
I'm going to get into the live chat real quick. Frankie Hernandez reminded me to get back to it. At the beginning of this chat, you said you would get back to one of my comments and that you agreed yes or no. I forget the comment, Frankie. Just go ahead and run it by me again.
Yeah, I remember you saying that too.
Yeah, Zoli says, I love the Google Pixel 3a. I got rid of my Samsung Galaxy S10. Zoli, I think that's a little extreme. Your S10 is a much better phone than the 3a.
I disagree.
No, the S10. The S10 is a true flagship through and through. You get IP. Well, look at what you're getting as extra features.
But consumers don't care about specs. We care about specs.
No, it's not about the specs. But look at all of these actual real life features that matter. A Snapdragon 855
specs
is leaps and bounds faster than a Snapdragon 670.
But it's good enough. That's the thing. Is it's good enough, and it's good enough for a much, much lower price. And software is what matters.
I'm with you there. Waterproofing, it has it. The Google Pixel 3a does not. Fast charging. The 3a XL and the 3a charge quick. They use that power delivery USB-C tech.
Mm-hmm.
But the Samsung charges way faster.
All right, I can see that mattering.
So you got waterproofing, you got better charging, a much better hardware experience, much better. The design is way better. The display is not even close. Like, I would say that the 3A and the 3A XL displays are fine. Samsung Galaxy S and Note series devices have the world's best smartphone displays, and it's not even close. Cameras, I'll admit you're right about the cameras. And then I would say just, like storage, you're getting 64 gigs out of the Pixel, and you're getting SD card support and probably built in, 128 or 256 gigs of storage on the Galaxy.
Right. And to a spec head, that really does matter. The things that matter to the normal consumer are the display and the camera. As long as
the Galaxy's got the display.
As long as they can play some video games on it and browse Facebook and watch YouTube and play with Snapchat or filters, most consumers don't really care whether the thing costs $200 or $2,000, but they're going to opt for the $200 one because of the price difference.
Brian says that Google phones get their updates. That's true. A lot of people really like that about the Google phones.
That's the reason that I would consider, I would never buy a Samsung for that specific reason.
OnePlus makes some good phones.
They do. They make very good phones. And they're pretty decent about updating them too. They're not as fast as Google is, but they're still pretty decent about it.
Damon Fowler says, I'm on the Verizon Wireless website, and the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G phone is $1,300. Monthly payments puts it at $54.16 a month. Crazy.
That hurts.
Jeez, that's not service included.
That hurts my wallet just thinking about it.
Jo Gaming says, I stole an iPhone 5S from a Boost Mobile store before. Shame on you. What else we got here? Nocturnal says, wait, I just had it. Where'd it go? I lost the spot. Where did it go? Oh, I love the Note 7. Hee hee. That thing was explosive.
It just it blew right off the shelves.
Yeah, it sure did. M. Krieg says Samsung is the best. I agree. They make the best phones. Truth be told, design, features, as a true flagship, they do make the best phones. I would put the OnePlus designs and hardware right behind them, though.
Yeah. I mean, Samsung is great if they could get over their updates thing and stop putting so much crap on their phones. I would
Right.
actually consider them.
Jo, I'm glad you returned the phone. That was good. You don't want to steal. That's the worst. DJ Gaydon says, is the 3AXL a good phone? It's an excellent phone. It's really good. In fact, I'm actually selling my Google Pixel 2 XL. Like Dave said, it's good enough. It gets the job done. I'm not that I'm downgrading, but if I can get $300-400 for a brand new Google Pixel 2 XL, it's a brand new replacement from Google. I'll just get that money and pocket it. I paid $379 for my Google Pixel 3a XL. Got a $100 gift card from Best Buy for the purchase, and I bought an unlocked variation.
And with the money you could spend on a Galaxy, like the S10, for example, you could buy like quite a few of those Pixel 3 XL, like the Pixel 3a or 3a XLs. You could have one phone for yourself, or you could get you and your significant other and somebody else like your mom or your parent or somebody a phone for the same price.
Absolutely, it's a good
So you
bargain.
get three for the price of one. I don't see a problem with that.
John Phillips with another super chat. Thank you again. Very generous. And John, you've given up a couple of super chats, man. Thank you so much. Troy Hicks says Samsung Galaxy Note 10. Dave, I heard the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 will not have any physical buttons. That's pretty crazy.
I think that they were talking about doing that. I think that it got slashed because it wasn't ready. So I think it will. The likelihood is that the next maybe S or Note series will not. I would think that if they're going to go buttonless, I would think they would do something like what the Google Pixel did for the Google Assistant to turn it on and off, and then do something like the iMac volume bar, the slider bar, where you just like touch it, like the capacitive bar for volume and stuff. That's what I would think. So like squeeze to turn it on and off. That would be the actual like.
So it's still touch sensitive. It's still capacitive. It's just not like a physical button.
Right. It wouldn't be a physical button on the side. It would be a physical button inside the phone, and you would squeeze it, and that would push in on that button to turn it on, and then the volume itself, like the volume rocker, instead of being physical, would be like the iMac touch bar.
Got you.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, the Note is the standard for Android. They kind of set the bar for what is considered to be the high-end flagship of the year. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's going to come out in the fall, like late summer, early fall. We're expecting it in September, October-ish.
Yeah,
M. Krieg with the super chat, $25. Thank you so much. Very, very generous. Thank you.
We got some ballers in the house.
I know we got some very generous and nice people out there. Noel says, "Are you getting Google Pixel 4 when it drops?" Yeah, if it's like $600, which it's not. It's going to be $900. What?
Uh-oh, look who we got back.
You still going on?
Pete's in the house, y'all. He came back for more. You guys thought you got rid of him. Or I know why he came back. He saw M. Krieg with the super chat. He's like, let me get back in here.
Yeah.
DJ Gaydon says T-Mobile had an amazing deal on Pixels. I don't know if they're still running it.
I think they might until the end of the month. month is over. Yeah, I don't know if they're still running it.
The month will be over in what, like 2 hours or less?
Hey, you're in Mountain Time too?
No, Central.
Month's over in an hour for you, buddy.
Troy Hicks says Samsung is rumored to have 100-watt charging 0 to 100% in 15 minutes in the Note 10. Wow. 100-watt charging. 25-watt charging is freaky fast.
Jesus.
My wife's got a 29-watt charger that charges her 10s Max to 80% from 0 in like 30 minutes.
What does that do to the battery?
It makes it
That's a
hot,
good question.
and we all know that heat is the enemy of batteries.
You want to make sure your batteries are nice and cold.
Time to start
Like your
using
beer.
lithium iron phosphate.
Like beer.
Yeah. Time to start using lithium iron phosphate instead of lithium ion.
Where is it? Yeah, Dave is not with us in the physical. He is with us in the spiritual. Everybody's asking where Dave's at.
Yep, Dave's here spiritually.
He's in the ethers.
It's a really moving experience.
Hey, Pete, it looks like you are a fan favorite. They're loving you out here, man.
I don't know what I did. Must be that Trump Mobile.
Yeah, it's Trump Mobile, and it's that beard that you haven't cut in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, too hot batteries can explode, so... And,
Raphael brings up a good point. He says in the long term with battery tech, when the batteries get hot, all right, so Pete, you have experience with hardware, right? Doing hardware replacements. All right, I've been repairing iPhones for years. And
I don't like hardware.
Okay, so I'm a hardware guy. Like I've been working in the repairs for a long time. And honestly, batteries are a little sensitive in that when they start getting hot with frequency, that's when they start to degrade. So like in iOS, you can actually look at your battery health and you could see it'll say like 99% health, 90% health. It's usually at about 80% health when they start to fade, and you'll literally get premature shutdowns. The phone will turn off at like 25%, 20%.
That is based. Batteries are laid out in cells. So there is a chip on the battery circuit going right before it enters the mobile device. I'd show you on an actual battery, but the defective ones I replace, I have to recycle immediately. But so based on how that sensor picks it up, you could be dying at 45% if it's in the middle of the battery array and it's just a dead spot. Too much heating causes the sensors to warp and the battery polymers to go through a chemical change.
Which caused the degrading.
Yep.
Which causes degrading, expansion, and explosion in severe cases.
Not good.
Note 7.
I've had several, while working at Apple Care, which is part of the reason why I have issues with iPhones. I've had several calls where people were using third-party chargers and their phone got so hot, it caught fire, and they were shocked when I told them exactly where on the back the epicenter was based on the charging. If you give them too much juice, they expand, and based on the reaction, they'll spark. And you have a lot of fuel right there.
I'm a little concerned about a 100-watt charger, though.
Well, if you have the built-in fail-safes, you're okay. But the issue is dissipating the heat. Is the brick going to take a grunt of the heat, or is the phone's battery going to take the heat?
If the phone battery takes the heat, it doesn't matter what dissipation technique you have, you're going to have to replace it sooner than later.
Like within a year, probably.
So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get our charging bricks and we're gonna have to put heat sinks on them to dissipate that heat.
Or go graphene.
That's true.
Graphene.
But
So-
graphene is still commercially too expensive to put in phones
Yeah.
right now.
So, Raphael, this is how dangerous batteries get. For me to remove like a MacBook battery, I need to have an air purifier, a fan, something covering my hands and eyes, and even then it's recommended I hold my breath while it's curing.
Yeah, batteries are extremely dangerous if you don't take precautions. Extremely dangerous.
When I replace a battery, I give a $60 surcharge for hazardous working.
That's deserved. If you think about it, there's
Absolutely.
risk. I actually want to get back to Frankie real quick. I don't. He says it had to do with the Amazon being the fourth carrier and dominating the new T-Mobile within a few years. Let's say 3 to 4 ballpark figure. If Amazon was to get Boost Mobile's customers, get onto the new T-Mobile network, have some form of their own LTE backbone, and with all of their spending and all the revenue that they generate, I don't know if they could pass the new T-Mobile. I think the new T-Mobile is going to really kick butt in TV and home internet too.
Especially when you start getting Amazon ads talking about diapers when you congratulate your sister and her new baby.
I don't see Amazon dominating the new T-Mobile. I see them being a competitor, but not dominating, because T-Mobile is going to be in, again, home internet and cell service and other things too.
Pete, get back in the chat. The people need you. Nocturnal Plays is saying, I had a Nexus 6P. Talk about battery problems. Yeah, that phone was really good, but it did have its issues.
I
Yeah, the
thought
phone
of the
itself is really good.
6P, but didn't get it after I read about the battery issues.
Yeah, the 6P was a good phone. I owned one, and the battery was the main problem. When it was new, it was fine, but when mine started to get older, then it started to really go downhill fast.
Fultonic in the live chat says, is it true that the Note 10 will do without the headphone jack? I heard that. I heard it's not going to have a headphone jack. That's going to be a sad departure from something that Samsung has stuck with for a long time.
The headphone jack just needs to die.
No.
Just die already.
No.
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 Yes.
I love my headphone jack.
I miss
know,
my
but
headphone jack with my XL.
I understand that, but we need to move on.
No, we don't. You need to
that
move
jack.
on. We do not. Me and Pete are staying right here.
I got this Galaxy Tab S4 LT from T-Mobile. Blazing speeds, headphone jack. I watch YouTube all the time on that.
All right.
Oscar,
Whatever
glad
you-
you could be here. Long time no see, my friend. John Phillips says the Moto Z4 will be a good competitor to the Pixel 3a lineup. A good competitor in price, but that's it. There's nothing truly better about the Moto Z4 that's better than the Google Pixel 3a XL. The Moto Z4 is $499.
Especially the software updates, because Motorola has been notoriously bad about software updates.
So the cameras are better. The updates are going to be better. The Google support's going to be better. I've never heard good things about Lenovo or Moto since Lenovo has bought them.
So they might not. Nocturnal Plays says, "Do you think you'd get Amazon Prime with an Amazon phone?" I could see them giving you Amazon Video and Music if you sub.
I could see the Amazon
shipping.
Music. I could
Prime.
see that for sure.
But not 2-day shipping.
What if they charged them like $5 a month?
That's what they charge for 2-day shipping.
No, they charge $99 a year, I thought.
No, it's 120
120
a year.
120 a year.
Half price. Yeah, that'd be a good deal.
Yeah, if you got to throw them a bone, right?
And
Yeah.
Amazon Prime is actually talking about doing 1-day shipping now
I get 1-day shipping. It's
for
I
free
wish
with
they
Prime.
didn't, but I get it.
They're talking about doing 1-day shipping with Prime. They're working on it still.
No, I get it in my market. It's
Oh, I know. I think they're rolling it out slowly, but in certain
but
places they do already have it. Certain places they don't.
I kind of wish they didn't do it due to the pressure it puts on employees and carriers.
Yeah.
But I'm actually starting thinking of setting my Fridays as an Amazon old drop-off day.
Oh, for
I
like
don't believe.
shipments?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for anything you order during the week, you can set it to be delivered on your Amazon day. That way, instead of having 10 boxes show up at your house during the week, you get one big box with everything in it.
But if I'm ordering a part for something I'm working on, I can get it to show up even on Sunday. So
Helps with waste and keep down the number of trucks on the road, so it's environmentally friendly.
I'm all for that. You guys know I teach environmental science.
I want to put solar panels on my house when I get a house.
Well, Minnesota, you might want to look into wind energy, actually.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving Minnesota.
You're moving?
Yeah, I'll probably be moving to Indiana and then Kentucky.
you're
Wow.
gonna want solar in Indiana.
I don't know. They're talking about this big wind initiative of renewable energy here in Lake Erie.
I could.
Lake Erie would work. I've spent several days in Cleveland. That's in Windy City.
I'd like to do a fully off-grid solar backup battery system.
Frost Wolf Studios is in the house. Said at Sneed Mobile Tech, do you think Amazon would take Sprint spot as a major carrier since they are looking at buying Boost? Yeah, it's a legitimate opportunity for them to get into the wireless game. I think if the conditions are there, they get the Boost customers, they get the Boost business, they get network coverage, and they kind of get that spectrum to get things going on their network. Looks like a legitimate option. And with their power, with their revenue, their ceiling is very high.
I would say so. I would say that Amazon could definitely be a good fourth competitor.
Wow, I like Frankie a little bit more now. Still rocking the Essential phone. Sweet device ahead of its time. So true. Such a good
Yes.
phone. You know, if it wasn't for the owner and operator, the founder of Google, with all of the sexual lawsuits and all that going on, we'd probably have an Essential phone too right now. Honestly, John Phillips, you speak of the Moto mods. The Moto mods, there's only a couple that matter. So many of them are so poorly executed. The battery extenders, like the battery packs that attach to the back, that's really the only one I could recommend to somebody.
I think
Maybe the
mods are,
JBL speaker, that's it.
I think mods are a great idea in practice, but I think most people don't like the idea of mods because it's something else to carry around. Like modular devices have not taken off no matter how many times they've been tried. And I think it's just simply because the fact that I don't want to carry a bag with my phone and my charger and 10,000 mods for my phone and then have to dig through it and figure out which one's which and plug it in. Like, no, it's just too much work.
But the extra battery pack was really nice. I used to have a Moto Z2.
Oh
Or
gosh,
Moto
yeah,
Z.
those things.
I had
When
a
you put the
Moto Z2
batteries,
Play. That's what I had. Moto Z2 Play. It had a nice sized battery. Or no, Moto Z Play. Then I got the Moto Z2 Play. The mod worked on both devices because they were interchangeable. And it was great.
oh yeah, and those things can last for a long time, especially with that battery. That's another good reason to have graphene is because the same size battery can hold like something like double the current power energy.
Kelleher says, I use the headphone jack. I listen to music. Delivers better sound than Bluetooth. Well, Bluetooth has some catching up to do. Bluetooth has to get better. And right now, Bluetooth doesn't, it doesn't compete with the headphone jack and with the
I
cable.
think catching up is the term for that. The thing with Bluetooth is it was designed to act a specific way and carry specific information under an encrypted frequency. The fact we can put audio over it and it sounds largely acceptable is a fluke, in my opinion.
Bluetooth uses short range 2.4 low power.
Which is
2.4
fine. I mean, it
gigahertz.
keeps the battery life at a decent level.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the sound quality, the lag, I mean, there's so much to not like about current Bluetooth technology. What else is going on here in the live chat? We're talking about the Mandela effect. That popped
I
up.
don't touch that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to pop up in here, but anyways. John Phillips says the game mod is legit though. I haven't used it. I can't really speak to it. I've used the JBL sound speaker, and I've used the projector mod, and I've used the battery extender mod. John Phillips says LG is king of audio. Yeah, like for a creator, somebody who makes a lot of video and records a lot of audio and video combined, LG flagships are great. The LG G8, the LG V40, V50, whatever's out, the more recent flagships.
Just don't
I was
expect
so
to get any
close to
updates.
getting an LG, man.
Just don't expect to get any updates.
That's a problem, man, because I do like my updates. That's part of the allure of getting a Google phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's one of the things I could say, you know, OnePlus really does well.
Well, Google's actually changing that up a little. You're going to start getting your security updates not as OS updates, but as Play Store updates.
Play Store updates with Project Mainline, yes, which is really cool in my opinion.
So if your device has access to the Play Store, you get all the security.
Well, the security is cool, but you need OS updates too.
Oh, you'll get OS updates, but the security updates will not be blocked by the carrier or the OEM.
Right.
Which is definitely a great thing, but I'm talking primarily OS updates too. Is like, I mean, what device was it that just recently? I think the LG G7 or something like that just recently got Android Pie. It's been out since August of last year.
Yeah, it's almost going to be a 2-year phone.
I
crazy.
got so annoyed that I had to wait until the end of April to get Pi on my Galaxy S4 tab.
I had Pi on my Pixel on day one.
And Me too.
I had Pi on my OnePlus in like September or October.
What do we have here? We have Oscar Frederico in the house. Thank you for being here, buddy. Says, do you think AT&T and Verizon change their unlimited data plan? No pressure to change it right now. The market's kind of stale right now. They're probably going to be looking at running a lot of promos on devices. Buy one, get ones on the new iPhones when they come out in the fall, the new Pixels, the new Note, you know, stuff like that. They'll be going that way.
If AT&T and Verizon's data plan prices change, there is only one way for them to go. Up.
Kenneth Espinosa says, is it okay to renew my lease with Sprint? Sure.
If
nothing will change for a couple of years.
So I'd be surprised if this OG Pixel didn't get Q on it.
And even if it doesn't, I mean, there's always custom ROMs like Lineage.
I think it will. I think that's probably going to be its final update, though.
I think so.
Either way, my OG Pixel, not worth the $30 to get a replacement battery in there.
Oh, is your battery starting to fail?
Starting, it failed like a month and a half before I get the XL.
It's $30. Give it. Put the battery in it and give it to a friend or something.
No, it's $30 for me to buy the battery and then find an hour where I don't mind avoiding breathing caustic chemicals.
Fair.
Nocturnal Play. I am going to be appointing you a moderator in the live chat. Add moderator. There you go, my friend. You are now a moderator for the channel.
So did this podcast evolve into talking about Trump Mobile and Amazon?
I think it did.
Actually, speaking of which, comment here. Frankie says the Justice Department is preparing antitrust investigation of Google.
They've been trying that for 6 years.
They got to ask the right questions. They've got to look in the right places. What else we got going in here? I know we're caught up in the chat. Is there anything else you guys want to cover?
No, but I did notice that there was a post office worker. Let's see, who was it? And yeah, Troy Hicks. Yeah, I appreciate the post office. I just don't think Sunday delivery is worthwhile for me to get a Blu-ray.
What's the post office?
It's this amazing bastion of socialism and parcel delivery services.
Are those the same people that deliver me all those credit card offers every day that I throw away?
Well, the credit card offers, they do deliver because the credit card company pays to have them delivered, and since it's government run, they cannot say you can't deliver certain non-lethal media through the service.
Oh,
Because
guys, I don't know if I can make it any longer, man.
the First Amendment is the amendment that guarantees those credit card offers showing up.
You guys want to go ahead and wrap this up?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I have work in the morning. I've got a second job that I work, and I got to be up at like 6 a.m. And it's already like, what is it, probably 1 or something like that? 12:30 in the Eastern.
It is 12:30.
All right. So let me just go ahead and give out all the thank yous. Let me dole these out.
No,
Dave B, I would
Land.
like to thank you for being here. Pete, I would like to thank you for being here twice. I would like to thank you for contributing in the chat, contributing on the live stream. I want to thank my newly appointed moderators, Rafael Perez, a friend of the show and a friend of the channel. He is now an official moderator here on the channel, as well as Nocturnal Plays, also newly appointed moderator here on the channel.
Hey, Raphael and Nocturnal, are you two on the Discord?
Big shout out to the Discord server for Sneed Mobile Tech. You guys can get that link in the description box below. I also want to give a special shout out to all the patrons over on the Sneed Mobile Tech Patreon. Thank you guys for your continued support and your unwavering support of me here on YouTube and on Patreon.
Nocturnal, he's a young man. He works in the morning. Let him sleep.
I also want to say thank you to all the viewers out there. Thank you to all who liked the video. Thank you to all who shared the video. Thank you to everybody who contributed and put it forth some dialogue in the live chat. Thank you so much for the involvement. I enjoy the community very much, and I enjoy reading all the comments in the comment section of all the videos. I'm really enjoying to see the growth and the proliferation of the channel. And thank you to the contributions of all the guys, Dave, Pete, viewers. It's all because of you guys that the channel is growing. Did we just get a super chat?
Thank you to Steve. Good night, Steve Sanchez. Email 31.
Steve, thank you for the live, for the chat, the super chat. Thank you, Iman31, for the super chat. You guys are very generous. Thank you so much.
We love the comments.
Yeah, we do. We really do enjoy the dialogue. It makes everything worth it.
Absolutely.
Let me do some special shout outs. Dave. Shout out to Dave B's Tech. Check out the YouTube channel. Dave, go ahead and shout out your channel.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me, Sneed. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, over on Dave B's Tech, I primarily just cover all sorts of technology. I covered the SpaceX Starlink satellite launches and tech news and amateur radio, cell providers, things like that.
And then Pete, special shout outs or any mentions?
Just my cybersecurity department at TU Boulder. They're great.
And I think Pete might be having something in the pipeline pretty soon in the future on the YouTube side. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
At the moment, I just have a programming demo on my YouTube page.
But soon enough, there'll be more to come.
Maybe.
I just want to let everybody know, whoever's in the live chat, everybody out there, I will be doing the JG Tech Blog podcast on Sunday. Looks like we're going to be airing around 9 o'clock, 9:30-ish. I'll post something on the Discord. I'll post something on the Patreon. I'll post something here on the channel in the community tab. So make sure that you are notified and subscribe to the channel, and make sure that you have your notifications set to all, not just videos, but also community posts.
Thanks for the $5, Troy.
More? Oh, you guys are so kind. Thank you for the super chat, Troy Hicks. Thank you so much. You guys are just trying to keep me on, you know, trying to keep us on.
Pull out that.
Maybe they're gonna support you so you don't have to do your second job, so you can stay up later.
You know what, man? I think at some point, if the YouTube side was to become lucrative enough, I could walk away from that second job. But at this moment in time, you know, with the family and stuff like that, I just got to keep chugging along, man.
He's getting a new house soon.
And I got the master's program. Like, these classes ain't cheap, Pete.
My tuition is like $2,000 a class.
That's exactly how much mine is, $2,000 a class. So that's why I have to get off of the live stream.
Yep.
Get my sorry butt to bed.
All right, night, Sneed.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make this official. Thank you to everybody who contributed. Thank you to all for watching. It was a great live stream, excellent podcast. You guys were great. All the guests, all the new moderators, contributors, Dave and Pete, thank you guys again. We will see you guys on the next live stream, on the next podcast. Peace.
Peace.